Hey everybody, this is Derek for the Grumpy Guy Show, talking about episode number 97. It's just a bird, PETA! Recorded on Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. Tonight's topics: cruises, it's a swan, people being stupid for pictures, red meat isn't bad for you, and PETA follows our philosophy of not researching. Stick around, it's a packed episode. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So we got a packed show tonight, and possibly some extras that might come to mind as we're going along that I forgot to write down. I don't know. But we'll see. You know, who knows? Every time I say it's going to be a short show, it ends up being a long show, and I say we got a packed show, maybe it will end up going really quickly. Who the hell knows? But I do want to start out with saying that I really truly need to look into how Google Podcasts work on YouTube, because I was looking at things, and you know, we had some decent views. Like episode 94 we had 11, and then 95 we had 6, but then last week's episode, which in the intro I accidentally said 95, but it's actually 96, we only had one view. So I have a feeling it's because I was setting each season up as its own playlist. I don't know. So I gotta do a little bit of research on that and figure out what's going on. Hopefully that's all it is, and and I can get it over and done with pretty quick. But we shall see. So, what do you say we go right into topic number 1?
What is it?
So, last week they were talking about how the cruise industry is starting to pick up again, based on pretty much falling on its face with COVID because, well, nobody could go on a cruise. Not sure why people want to anyhow, because they're very, very disease-ridden. A lot of times people come back and they're sick from whatever. You get 7,000-8,000 people shoved on a ship for 10 days. I mean, people are bound to spread things, but at any rate, they were talking...
Super spreader.
Yeah. They were talking about how cruises are starting to pick up, and people are getting bumped from cruises. And why are they getting bumped? Well, because they're intentionally overbooking. And I'm like, how can this be legal? You have a fixed number of spots on this ship. And okay, some people are gonna cancel or something like that. But you overbook intentionally. So, there's fees for late cancellations. Why in that? And we're not talking, one or two. I mean, they were talking hundreds of people getting calls shortly before this cruise that they had been planning for a year. They've already got the time off. They've spent the money to pay for the stupid thing. And then a couple of weeks ahead of time, they get a call from the cruise line saying, "Oh, we're sorry, but your room has been canceled."
Why?
Because they've overbooked.
Why do they overbook?
Well, they say, "Oh, well," they were talking to somebody in the cruise industry, and of course, airplanes do it too. Yeah, okay, but are they overbooking by hundreds of people per flight? No. I mean, I don't really truly know how many people can go on a cruise ship, but let's just pick a number and say 1,000. Okay, so they have 1,000 rooms available, and these people are overbooking by like 10%. So they have 1,000 rooms available for this ship, and they're overbooking by 100. So now they've got 1,100 people slotted for 1,000 rooms, and their hope is that 100 people are going to cancel? All I can think with that is, well, wait a minute. So you've sat there and you've earned interest off of the money that I've paid because you know you're going to have to pay it back. And if I cancel, you're going to charge me a fee. Maybe I should charge you a fee for canceling on me. Like, what the hell is this? How is this legal? You know, I'm going to guess the reason it's legal is because, number one, politicians aren't going on cruises.
They don't care.
But number two...
Cruises are for poor people.
Yeah. Well, that's not how it used to be. Cruises used to be for the rich. But anyhow. So, you know, number two, going off the fact that they were talking to somebody in the industry and they said, oh, well, planes do it too. Well, the reason it's not illegal on planes is because all of these politicians are flying private. And if they're not flying private, then what's happening? Well, I'm so-and-so, so you have to. Otherwise, I'm going to screw you over. You know, it's like, come on.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's like, it shouldn't matter who you are. What should matter is the fact that you've bought a ticket. You have a seat. That's it. That's all there is to it. Not, oh, well, you know, we have 100 seats on the plane. We're going to sell 110 and hope that 10 people cancel. No. That's not the way that it should be. And this is just, it's ridiculous. I understand they got to make money and everything, but seriously, that's just ridiculous.
It really is.
Yeah, well. So, that's all I got there. Like I said, it could end up being a quick show. Who knows? You know.
Up next.
So there's a village. I believe it's the southeast side of Syracuse, Manlius, and they have a pond for a swan pond that they had donated by some wealthy people long ago, whatever. But so some kids went in and they grabbed the swan and killed it and ate it. Wasn't that they needed food or anything like that. They were just out hunting. And, you know, I understand that, you know, the village owns the swan and that these kids were trespassing. I mean, it's not like an open pond. There's fence around it. And it's not like this swan can fly. It's a domesticated swan that, you know, it's either had its flight feathers clipped or, you know, something, whatever. It can't fly. So it can't get away. There's very little space for it to go outside of the water. So it's not like it can get away from these people. And I get that some people are upset because, you know, they went in and did this. You know, but what I don't get is the fact that we heard about it for over 2 weeks on the news. And then, on top of that, there's people, I mean, they set up a vigil for a swan. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Oh, it's a beloved swan. It's a freaking swan!
It's just a swan.
But then, let's top this off.
Just a bird.
Yeah, let's top this off with, you know, now they started some GoFundMe thing. You know, because the swan had babies and we got to take care of the babies. Well, wait a minute. Why are we giving money to this? We had to take care, you know, the village had to take care of the babies anyhow. They should already have the money there. And if they don't, something's wrong. But then, you know, there's people that are saying it's disgusting what they did.
That sounds a little extreme.
Yeah, it's really extreme in my opinion. I mean, is it disgusting when you eat a chicken? No.
No.
Is it disgusting when you eat a duck? No.
No.
Cow? No. Deer? No. Why is it disgusting when you eat a swan? Granted, may not be in season, and like I said, it's pretty much cornered. There's very little it could do. However, it's still a wild animal.
But this one was domesticated.
Yeah. Domesticated in that, it's always fed by people shoving coins into a little dispenser to get 4 or 5 pieces of corn to throw at it. But, at any rate, I mean, I find it ridiculous how people are with this. And this all kind of leads right to our next topic.
The hypocrites at PETA are probably losing their minds.
Oh, yeah. It's utterly ridiculous. And that's actually remind me about PETA in a little bit. We'll get to them.
Okay.
That's something that I did forget to put in. But at any rate, so this kind of leads us to our next topic.
Okay.
There are so many posts and videos and pictures of people going to Yellowstone, or I think it's Yellowstone or Yosemite, something, some national parks.
Something with a Y.
Yeah, so if they're going to national parks where wild animals just walk around freely, and they're walking up to them like buffalo. They're walking up to these huge buffalo, which, each one of these animals is like 3,000 pounds. Right? They're walking up to them to take a picture with them or to pet them. Oh, it'll be so cool. I'll go up and I'll pet it. And then they wonder why they get gored, why these animals chase them.
Bad idea.
Yeah. And there was a picture a few weeks ago of a guy who went and he was actually picking up a calf, a buffalo calf. And because
That's just asking to get hurt.
Well, here's the thing. Because his scent was all over it, the mother wouldn't do anything with it. The mother just left it. So they had to euthanize the calf.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? But, nobody's over that. Oh, this is disgusting. Well, you know what? I mean, the guy got arrested. And he admitted that he probably shouldn't have done it. And I don't know what kind of fines or anything he's going to get. But, he might even end up serving jail time. I don't know.
At least he admitted he's stupid.
Yeah. And
that's the first step to recovery.
And those kids that took that swan, they admitted they were stupid. They're supposedly hunters. They actually have hunting licenses. Supposedly. I don't know for a fact. But supposedly they have hunting licenses. And they claimed they thought this was a duck. There's a big difference between a swan and a duck, in case you don't know.
I think these guys need to go take a class.
Yeah.
What do animals look like?
Yeah, pretty much. But, the worst part is, I mean, they're hunters, they have their hunting license. It's not duck season. So...
It's rabbit season?
Even if they thought it was duck season, don't matter. Or, even if they thought it was a duck, it don't matter. It's not duck season. Maybe it's rabbit season, I don't know. But at any rate, they're petting these wild animals and they're going and taking ducks. It's like, here I am. Taking swans, not ducks. But, it's just ridiculous.
Are supposedly ducks.
Yes. The duck swan. The ugly duckling. There we go. That's what it was. They stopped right at the beginning. They didn't read the whole story.
Roro.
Yeah. But, I mean, with cell phones, there's more pictures than ever taken before. I mean, before, if you took pictures as a hobby or just, like my grandmother did, just to be able to remember events or anything like that, generally speaking, they were horrible pictures. And that's why, I mean, you and your brother always pick on me. Oh, every angle of everything he's taken a picture of. Well,
I mean, it's true.
That's kind of why. Because, pictures are horrible.
Because you're afraid the pictures are going to suck?
Yeah. And with cell phones, everybody's taking pictures. And because of the fact that, Apple isn't as advanced with their use of algorithms as Google is, but they're still both using algorithms to enhance the pictures and make them better. Quite often you take a picture with your phone, you get a good picture. And there's more people taking more pictures of more things now. And, now they feel that they've got to do something special. I mean, that's why so many people have fallen to their death trying to take a selfie. Oh, I got to get a nice selfie of myself right next to this cliff. Ah! Because they're backing up to get as close as they can instead of paying attention to where the hell they are. Either that or a big gust of wind comes and shoves them. It's like, seriously, people, think. You're not going to impress too many people when you're dead. But, whatever. That's the biggest problem, is people just aren't thinking.
Nope.
So let's throw in this whole thing with PETA before I forget.
Yeah, what about PETA?
So there's some famous person, I don't know who the hell he is, but he's famous, and, he posted pictures of some special breed dog. It's a mix between some kind of terrier and poodle, I don't know. But, it's a designer dog, basically. Costs like $5,000 per pup.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, he was happy that he got this dog and whatnot. And PETA decided they were going to call him out. Oh, instead of going to the local humane society and picking out a mutt, he had to go and get this designer dog, blah, blah, blah. And, and then he fires back. He called PETA and left a message, which, maybe went a little overboard. But at the same time, I don't feel that he needed to follow it up with the apology that he did. So, here he called, in his message basically said, maybe you should do a little bit of research before opening your mouth. I have issues that require me to have a pet that I have allergies to dogs, which means I have to be careful about the breed that I get. And then of course he went off with some expletives and whatnot that they bleeped out, so I don't know what they are, but then he apologized, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Why would he apologize?
I mean, if he's apologizing for the expletives, all right, I get that.
That's fair.
However, the news never said what he apologized for. And I mean, it wasn't actually the news. It was, one of those entertainment shows that comes on just afterwards. But I'm like, really? I mean, just because I don't go to the freaking Humane Society or the SPCA and pick something out, you're going to call me out on it? How about this, PETA?
I mean, yeah, that's what PETA does.
How about this, PETA? Why don't you stop sucking up all the money to pay these stupid executives you got and start shoving the money into these places?
While you're at it, stop killing animals just because they're not getting adopted.
Yeah. Well, they do that because, places like PETA just freaking whine instead of giving money.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, instead of doing that, whining about it, why don't you take the animals so that they don't get euthanized? Oh, no, we can't do that. We can't afford that. Well, all these shelters can't afford to keep them forever either. I mean, come on. Before we got our dog, we went and we looked at the Humane Society, and we looked at the SPCA, and all they had were animals that were either very sick, very obviously sick, or pit bull mix. And we don't want a pit bull. So yeah, we had to go and we had to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And the one we got, yeah, it's from basically what they call puppy mills, where, that's really all they're doing is producing puppies. But I wanted a dog, and I wasn't going to sit around waiting for the SPCA to get one that wasn't a pit bull or really sick. You know? Not everybody can sit around waiting for that. Not everybody wants to. And in this case, perhaps he really, truly couldn't. You know, I mean, how many people are taking these $5,000 designer dogs and saying, nah, you know what? Let's give it to the SPCA. I'm done with it. Not many, because they cost $5,000. Even if you're rich, you know? That's just stupid. But, you know, PETA thinks they're perfect. They think they're right. I don't know.
Even though they're one of the worst nonprofits out there.
I don't know about that, but at the same time, I can't say that
they're up there with Autism Speaks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do they really do? You know, that's the truth. What do they do for anything other than their own pockets? Take donations and put it in their pocket. That's all they do.
Pretty much.
You know, and then everyone said, oh, you shouldn't do that. Okay.
Okay.
You know, we'd be much better off putting the money into, into the government agencies that can actually go and do sting operations on these places where, you know, animals are actually treated poorly. You know, like finding the dog fighting. That takes money. Instead of donating to PETA, who's just going to whine, oh, there's dog fighting happening. Okay, do something about it. Number one, they won't because that would cost money. And number two, they can't because they're not a government agency that can actually arrest somebody. But anyhow.
But hey, what do we know?
Yeah. So what do you say we go on to the last topic that I had listed here?
What do you have?
So, back in the mid to late 80s, they started doing all kinds of research trying to find out why there were so many problems with heart conditions. And, they started to find answers. One of those answers was cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
And at a relatively young age, I was diagnosed with high cholesterol. And ever since then, all I've heard is go on a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet and avoid red meat. Because all that stuff raises your cholesterol. Okay. So since the early 90s, I've been on a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet. I haven't really watched the red meat that much because, I'm sorry, PETA, but it tastes good. But then, it's just, it really irks me because I've been doing that for that long. So you're talking 30 years that I've been watching my cholesterol intake and going low fat and all this other stuff. And then in this health app that we have for work, they say that high cholesterol in the foods you eat does not contribute to the cholesterol levels in your body. I'm like,
wait, what?
You gotta be kidding me. So all those years of eating egg beaters instead of eggs, which, by the way, folks, egg beaters are like 3 times the cost of eggs. So all those years of eating egg beaters instead of eggs, I could have been eating eggs. All those years of actually eating red meat, I could have been eating red meat. Alright, so I have been eating red meat, but I wouldn't have to continue, it's like, what the hell is wrong here?
You wouldn't have to worry about it.
I wouldn't have to think about it so much. If I want a burger, I just eat a stupid burger, But instead, it's like, well, maybe I'll have a veggie burger or something like that. And it's like, now they're saying pretty much, yeah, don't worry about it. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
That was a waste.
Yeah, it was a waste of 30 years of my life. I could have been.
Waste of 30 years worth of money on egg beaters.
Yes, especially when you look at in college. I mean, my last 3 years. My last 3 years of college, I was off campus, and every single morning, I made a sandwich using the equivalent of 2 eggs worth of egg beaters, which they're a lot cheaper now than they were back then. I was in college eating that every single day. I could have saved so much money. I mean, back then, they had little tiny cartons that were equivalent to 4 eggs. And each one of those cartons cost I think they cost $3 or something like that. Where you look at a dozen and a half eggs now, which is a lot more expensive than it was 30 years ago. But you look at a dozen and a half eggs now, and you're talking $3. So I was paying that for the equivalent of a quarter of that. I'm like, oh my God, it's just so ridiculous, But I don't know. I mean, the low fat is good because it's probably why I'm not a huge guy, but I'm still big, and I'm not going to change as far as the fat, but, now I'm eating eggs. Damn it. I want a burger, I'm going to get a burger. It's just insane, You're
having eggs instead of egg beaters and a burger instead of a burger.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I'm sitting here, I'm rethinking everything. It's like, wow, all that time I've been focused on the cholesterol counts, and I'm like, and I never understood their push with no red meats, because if you looked at it, you look at like a turkey burger versus a beef burger, the cholesterol level is the same. So I'm like, what is it with red meat? Why are you so focused on red meat? And the next time a doctor tells me that, I'm gonna say, do you just not like beef? I mean, seriously.
I mean, that's okay for you. You do you, but
yeah, exactly. You don't want to eat beef. Okay, good. I'm gonna, because it doesn't affect my cholesterol, and it tastes good.
And it's easy to make it taste good.
Yes, just a little salt and pepper is all you need. But
salt, pepper, and put it on a hot surface for a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit more than a few minutes, but I'm not one of those that they were in what was the movie? Cowboy Way. They it was about a couple of real cowboys that went into the city, and they went to a steakhouse, and the waitress, they ordered a steak, and the waiter said, how would you like your steak cooked? Well, I can't remember the exact phrasing. Something like, well, slap the steer on the ass, cut it, throw it on for a couple of minutes, and put it on a plate, or something like that. I'm like, that's a little rare for me. But I don't know. All right, folks. I'm sure you heard that music starting up.
So, good night.
We'll see ya.